welcome. I'm Mama Eva and welcome to my channel. I so appreciate you. It's a good day. It's a fabulous day. It's a marvelous day. But what's more important, this is your day. Because of special request, I have a video called Tuesday Tea with Mama. It's been overwhelming. The calls, the texts, people want that to continue. So today I have one of my special honey buns with me. Now she's going to be asking me 5-6 questions that I do not know what they are. So if I look surprised, I'm surprised, all right? Okay, so we're going to get started.
Okay, first question. Since you describe yourself as a spiritualist, that practice many different things, what sets your botanical apart from other botanicals?
Good questions. I hope you can hear her. The question was, since I used the title of spiritualist, what sets my botanical or my botanica, what makes it different? Well, because I cater to all practices and all religions. So I believe that's one aspect that would make it different, because whether you're Christian or you're Buddhist or you're Wiccan, you can come here and get things that you need. Now, we also have 400 some herbs. So not only do I cater to the spiritual, I cater to the physical. And I have to say this because she asked the question. Here I only have one rule, and that one rule is we do not judge nobody, no matter what you practice. I will not allow anybody to judge anybody. We can agree to disagree, but in here I make sure that this is a place of love.
Great. Okay, so I have another question. So what does it mean to be a spiritualist?
What does it mean to be a spiritualist? Now, I'm only going to give you my definition, so it may not be in the Webster or anything like that, but I'm going to speak it from my heart. A spiritualist is a person that realizes that once you expire, once you die, you still exist in a different realm. So people are able to contact you. Some people, if they're gifted, they can speak to you and you can speak back. And is to me, it also means that the ministry, because most spiritualists, I'm not going to speak that. I'm going to say me. I still pray. I still pray several times a day. I still worship. Now, I worship. I want to make this clear too, baby. I worship God, but I honor everybody else. All right? So I still worship. I still have my morning affirmations with gospel singing, and I do I meditate. I do all of these things. However, I feel as though you don't have to go to a building to do that. All right? Because the temple is supposed to be us anyway. There's nothing wrong with going to a temple. There's nothing wrong with going to a church. Nothing. There is some great churches. There is some great pastors that I know. I'll go to church myself. But I don't think that you have to. To be with the saints is great. But you don't have to. So my ministry, and I shared this in the first video, that I had a building. I do at least 70 to 80% more ministry in my botanica than I do in a building. Why? Because I can reach people that would never put their foot in a church. And I don't care what you worship. If you bow down and worship a cow, a goat, or you worship in a tree, or you believe in fairies, guess what? I'm still going to love you. I'm still going to pray for you. And
You still got
That's my
something for
meaning.
them.
That's it may not be right for some folks, but that's how I explain what I call myself, a spiritualist.
That's good. No, I like that.
You like it?
I like that. I like that. So, having said that, what's the strangest request you've received from a client?
Oh, look, y'all, wait a minute now. Woo! What's the strangest request? I promised y'all that I will always be honest on this channel, whether people like it or not, okay? I had a man, an older man, up in probably his 80s, came in, and he had a cigar box, and it was full of money. And he only had one request, that I would hurt his wife. And I asked him again, I said, what? He said, what, this is not enough money for you? I said, mister, you got the wrong person. Take your money and take your honey. I didn't say honey, though. I said, take your honey and leave. Now, I don't know whatever happened to that man. I don't know if he went to somebody else, but I immediately started praying for him. Because looking at the one side, I would have said, is this man absolutely insane? But this man truly was hurt. But that's not a solution to that problem. So I think that's about the strangest occurrence that I've had.
Okay, that's good. So it'd be good to know that you just don't do any of that. Don't come here with any of that kind of request.
You know, I'm like my Wiccan brothers and sisters. Shout out, I love y'all. That one thing that I love about them is they take karma so seriously. They are some of the most kindest people that I know, because they treat people the way they want to be treated. I'm not going to do that, and then I have to. Somebody going to say, well, something might happen to my children or my grandchildren. No, money can't buy everything, and not with me. So if y'all thinking about it, don't try it.
Please don't. Okay, next question. What does it mean to be crowned an Orisha? It's a couple parts to it.
Okay.
How can you find out who your crown Orisha is, and will it always be the same sex that you are?
Okay, I do practice Ifa, and the first part of it, you have to go through a ceremony. Now, because I'm a female, I can't conduct that. All right. So that's a formal ceremony. And do my Orisha, because generally you have a head and you have a foot Orisha. Is it always the same sex? Absolutely not. And what was the other part?
That's what you answered. You answered all three.
Oh, okay.
How can you be crowned?
Okay.
And how do you know, and if it can be the same sex? Because most people think that if you are female, they only associate it with a couple of females like Yemiya, Oya, or Ushun, and then they think it's supposed to be that's it.
No. And there is certain types of readings that can be conducted for you to find out who your Orisha is. Now, I have heard that some people tell you by tarot cards. Mama don't talk about things she don't know. I don't know about that.
Okay. Gotcha. And you still can't do any of those things because of your female?
Just the crowning. Okay? I can do the readings. I call it a life reading. I can do that. But however, I can't do the head Orisha. I can't do the crowning Orisha. I can't do that because that's not in my place to do that. Okay?
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so my last question, which is a really interesting question. Why is it so important to build a relationship with your ancestors?
Why is it so important to build a relationship with your ancestors? Because being a spiritualist ties into that. I truly believe that once you pass on, it's not over and done with. We have a lineage. Because sometimes when we talk about ancestors, we just think about grandma or great-grandma. No, it goes back and back and back and back. And part of their assignment is to help us. However, it's just like having a relationship with your higher power. You need to have a relationship with them so that you can have open communication with them. And they can respond back to you. And that's not hard to do. You know, we set up ancestral altars all the time, which I'm going to do a video about that, because some people think you got to have a table, you got to have a big old altar space. No, really, let me tell you, you can have an altar in your heart. Okay? Mm-hmm. So just having a relationship, talking with them. Mm-hmm. They hear, you know, some of my older honey bunnies say, the dead knows what the living are doing. Mm-hmm. I truly believe that. I've heard people saying that, oh, my dad is looking over the balconies of heaven and looking at me. I believe he's looking, but I believe he can come too. Mm-hmm. Oh, mm-hmm. I believe he can come too. See that preacher thing came out on me right there? Uh-huh. All right, so I got to calm it down. Precious is telling me, you don't calm it down. So it's important, not just your ancestors, but your deities and your spirit guides. Have a communication. Show them some love. Tell them that you love them. And they'll respond to you. Mm-hmm. All right?
So people normally, kind of mix up them. Like, they'll think of the ancestors and then, they're different from your spirit guides, or, spirit animals and all kind of different, different, like you say, your deities.
Yes.
So it's like, how do you, I guess it's the way you honor, and how you, able to tell a difference between them.
Okay, so when I think about deities, I would think more of saints, like the Orishas. Mm-hmm. and saints. Spirit guides do not have to be your close ancestors. They might be somewhere in there, but I could have native spirit guides. I look at spirit guides as guardian angels. Okay. Sort of. There you go. You see?
Makes sense.
And of course, our ancestors is people in our lineage, our bloodline. Mm-hmm. And if I was told this story I think it was yesterday, that there was some scientist or something that had followed DNA, and it came down to 4 women in Africa. Mm-hmm. And so I believe most of us are connected anyway.
Mm-hmm. They said like it takes 6 people away from everybody being connected some kind of way.
And I believe it. Mm-hmm. I believe it. So getting back to that, it is really important for a relationship. And one thing that I will say for those, and I'm going to get to this, but when you're setting up an altar, that is the most important thing, is going to that altar and having a relationship with whoever, your ancestors, your deities, your spirit guides, your whoever, mm-hmm. to have a relationship. Just like we would do with our higher power. Just to say I have a higher power, but not to have a relationship with him or her is not a good thing in my book. Mm-hmm. All right? Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. Now, I did mention that I was going to showcase 2 of the tea blends that we have here. And today we have a men's blend, and I have a queen's blend. And there are 2 wonderful teas. The men's blend deal with everything from prostrates to stress. The women's blend, it helps with our monthly, it helps with pain, it helps with being tired. It's got things in there to actually build your iron. It is absolutely wonderful. And we mix them here. And we have had some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful testimonies of people that drinks these teas and are doing so much better. Even their blood pressure being controlled, their sugar being controlled. All right? So, wow. let me clap for her, because I thought she was going to ask me something really, really bad, but she did wonderful. So I hope that y'all enjoy this. And now I do not know how often, because I'm kind of busy trying to get these videos out, but as often as I can, I will do Tuesday Tea with Mama. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the notification bell, and give me some thumbs up. If you have any questions, just hit the link or give me a comment, and I will read them, because I read every last one. You know what? It's a good day. It's a wonderful day. It's a marvelous day. But what's so more important to me, this is your day. Come on, give me some kisses. Kisses.